Typical day of a police officer is not normal. Having to be able to switch from seeing something as horrible as a child laying there dead to talk to a mother or a father on how to control their son or their daughter. We have to switch. We have to compartmentalize a lot of things. A lot of people ask us, how do you do your job? How can you go and see the things that you see and then be happy? I think God gives us the strength to do this job. The things that I've seen, the cries that I've heard, the bruises, the broken bones. Been able to compartmentalize it because that's just how you cope with it. One of the reasons that I wanted to become a police officer was I'm a survivor of domestic violence. And the helplessness that a person feels when they're being beat, kicked, punched, smacked, spit at, called names, belittled, is probably the worst demeaning thing that could happen to a person. Many times that I thought, who could I call on? I was afraid to call the police because I knew that if I did, the police could only do so much. And would leave, and then I would still be faced with the situation. So when I began looking at a career and what I wanted to do, my main reason was to help people, to empower victims, and to be a voice for the victims. Because a lot of times they're too afraid to talk. They don't know what to do. And I believe that we, as police officers, can empower victims. With the recent distrust in law enforcement today, spanning across social media, TV, I've noticed the lack of respect for the badge. 18 years ago, a police officer would show up on a call and people would listen to a police officer. Now I see that when a police officer walks up on a call, they want to question why the police officer is there, what business they have there. I dealt with a 13-year-old juvenile, and I think this was going to be probably one of the scariest moments in my law enforcement field, just for the simple fact that out-of-control juvenile didn't have any respect for me, didn't have any respect, not because of me being a woman, not because of me being a person, but because me being a police officer. The first thing out of his mouth was, "What are you going to do, shoot me? Because that's all you all do. That's all you all do." At one point, he became combative. Backup was 10 minutes out, and he had actually fled from the room that he was at, went into a bathroom, and the bathroom probably wasn't but about a 3x4 bathroom. So when he and I got into the bathroom, he climbed up on the sink, kept screaming, "You want to die? Do you want to die?" And I explained to him, "No, it's not my day to do this. I'm here to help you. Why don't you talk to me?" Lunged at me. We began to fight. I pulled out my handcuffs to try to cuff him, and the cuffs fell to the ground. As I was reaching to call for backup on my radio, he pulls my hand down. And the reason that I was so afraid wasn't because of what he was doing or how he was acting, as I thought I was going to have to shoot him. I've been doing this about 18 years, going on 18 years. And the first time that this job really hit home to me, really came home, was I went to a call of an unresponsive infant. When I arrived, there was a child. The infant was laying in a bed. The father had came home from a tour in Iraq, and he had not been able to see his twin daughters. He came home that evening, and the first thing he wanted to do was sleep with his children, sleep with his girls. So he went to bed that night holding them in his arms. He woke up the next morning and realized that he had rolled over on one of them. And we had to take the 6-week-old baby and conduct an autopsy. As police officers, we have to be in the room as they do the autopsy in case there's any kind of evidence. And at that point, my grandbaby had turned 6 weeks old. When they brought the baby in, they laid it on the table. I realized that could be my child. That could be my grandbaby. Went home that evening and grabbed my grandbaby and hugged her, thanking God that it wasn't my baby on the table. I know being a mother is a hard thing without wearing the badge. And you know, the nightmares that I have at night worried about my own children are the same nightmares that you have. When my daughter doesn't call at a certain time, I think she's had an accident. When my son's not at a certain place, I think something's happened to him. You know, as a police officer, we have our own problems. We face our own demons, and we have to live with how we do our job and in what way we conduct ourselves. This is me. I'm a police officer, and if there's one thing that I would want the community to know about law enforcement in general, is that we do care, we do respect, and we do sacrifice. I think I'm good, 'cause I can't.
Toughed out.
Yeah.
I wondered how you would run in them shoes.
Oh, listen, this right here, the Medal of Valor that I have, yeah, I got it, running in these shoes are no big deal at all. I got mine when I chased down a guy in my high heels, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was